They say time is a river that flows in only one direction. Forward, always forward. To fight the current is impossible. To jump upstream is madness. But in 1995, on a small, cluttered porch in Stanberry, Missouri, a 21-year-old man named Mike Marcum tried to build a dam. He didn't have a PhD in quantum physics. He didn't have government funding or a secret laboratory. All he had was a stolen electrical transformer, a brilliant, unstable mind, and a death wish. The world knew him as Madman Marcum, and the last thing he did was vanish. It started with a science experiment known as Jacob's Ladder, two vertical metal rods with a high-voltage arc climbing between them. It looks like something out of an old Frankenstein movie. But Mike modified the device. He wasn't just playing with electricity, he was compressing it. He reduced the air gap between the poles and increased the voltage to dangerous levels. That's when he saw it, a shimmering heat distortion right above the arc, a circular void that looked like a coin floating in the air. Curious, Mike grabbed a simple sheet metal screw from his table and threw it into the center of the energy field. He expected it to bounce off or fall to the floor. Instead, it disappeared. Half a second later, the screw reappeared a few feet away. Mike picked it up. It was freezing cold to the touch. He had thrown it into a blazing hot electrical arc and it came back frozen. Mike realized he hadn't just built a light show. He had punched a hole in reality. But opening a door to another time requires power, massive amounts of power. The outlets in his house melted. The lights in his neighborhood flickered and died. The domestic grid couldn't handle the load. Driven by obsession, Mike did something insane. In the middle of the night, he drove to the St. Joseph Light and Power generating station. He broke in and stole a massive 300-pound electrical transformer. He dragged it back to his porch and hooked it up to his time machine. When he turned the switch, he didn't just open a vortex. He blacked out the entire neighborhood block. The police arrived minutes later. They found a young man vibrating with adrenaline surrounded by illegal high-voltage equipment. Mike went to jail, but by then, the story was already out. While waiting for his trial, Mike called into the famous radio show Coast to Coast AM with Art Bell. Millions of people heard his voice that night. He didn't sound crazy. He sounded rational, intelligent, and terrified of what he had found. He told Art Bell about the heat vortex, about the freezing metal. He said he needed to go through it himself. Listeners were captivated. Donations poured in. Mike Marcum had the funding to finish his work. In 1997, Mike told his friends he had completed the final version, a magnetic field generator powerful enough for a human. He said he was going to enter the vortex. He took only one thing with him, his cell phone. He turned the machine on. The hum became a roar, the air distorted, and Mike Marcum was never seen again. So what happened? Did the sheer voltage vaporize him instantly? Is his body scattered in atoms across his porch, or did he succeed? There is a disturbing footnote to this story. Decades ago, in the early 1930s, police in California found the body of an unidentified man washed up on a beach. He had died of strange internal injuries, consistent with rapid decompression. But the detail that keeps investigators awake at night is what they found in his pocket, a small metal tube with a glass screen, a device that looked nothing like the technology of the 1930s. Some believe it was a cell phone, Mike Marcum's cell phone. We may never know the truth, but somewhere in the fabric of time, there might be a man still trying to find his way home. This is The Silent Files. Subscribe, and don't let the silence fool you.